Hey guys, and welcome to another brand new video. In this video, we actually have some kind of really weird issues going on with the PlayStation 5s, and I kind of wish that for me, I'm not the most influential person known to man when it comes to consoles or whatever, but I do want to go and say that I kind of hope and kind of wish a lot of this stuff would actually be fixed when it comes to PlayStation and Sony themselves, because it actually does kind of seem like it's a hardware issue that's been popping up quite a bit more when it comes to the more intensive games. Think like Horizon and Elden Ring and probably even Gran Turismo, just due to the graphics and intense kind of basically capabilities of the console itself. And I want to go bring this on up because I actually have had a few other folks also mention this, and just, if anything, I can kind of bring a little bit of light to it, and then maybe hopefully some other folks maybe go and see and kind of have a little bit of a chain reaction to see if this could maybe be a more long-term fix for the consoles themselves. Although, will that happen? I'm not really sure, but we had to kind of go and talk about it because a lot of folks are having this issue nonetheless, especially for the PlayStation 5. So a lot of stuff to go talk about, little things to ramble into, so make sure you guys are subscribed with the notifications on, as well for the brand new PlayStation 5 giveaway, and also for the Twitter link down below to enter in with that. Follow the Twitter, follow the Twitch, follow the Weeble Coinbase, all that good stuff down below in Amazon links, and let's go and dive on into it. So, as I mentioned, there's a bit of a weird issue going on, and it's been popping up a lot more throughout these past about a week or so. Mainly because with Horizon, which has been a very more in-depth game, a lot of details, a lot of open world, a lot of assets to go and load, and then same thing too as well with Elden Ring for the same exact issues. Just a lot of different effects, animations, things going on, like a lot of just working steps, basically world things, rain, particle effects, everything of the sort. And as you guys know, if you guys have played games on your PS4, PC, Xbox, whatever, the more things going on, the more your internal console has to go and encode, the higher the heat sink, the faster the fans have to go to make sure everything's kind of going and cooling down. And with all this kind of put together, it was kind of just rough issues. We've been leading into a lot more big issues when it comes to the PlayStation 5 itself. We have an article over here kind of talk about some stuff, actually also showcasing up some things too as well, and it's just not the best thing going on. Now, does it kind of go either way? I kind of think a lot of folks are saying this is more of a just pure console basis thing. So basically just maybe your individual console might have some issues. So if this has happened to you, leave your comments down below. If you guys haven't got your PS5s yet, don't worry. And as well, we've also been seeing some other stuff too. So for me, I actually have not had this issue myself, but I've had many folks, even when I was streaming up on Twitch, basically being like, hey, has this happened to you? Do you know how to fix this? What's going on right now? Do you have any details on it? I know you talk a lot about the PlayStation. Have you heard about stuff, etc., etc. So with this, we actually have an article stating the bizarre PS5 fault is now infuriating gamers, and then perhaps that Sony should go provide some earplugs. So kind of we'll kind of talk about in the article itself, but just the rough idea is your console's basically just making some really weird sounds and really weird coil wire, and we've actually been hearing about this ever since the consoles first came out, but especially so, as I mentioned, throughout these past 2 weeks, where we've had a lot more intensive games, a lot more very, very graphically, environmentally, CPU-ly type, games, which is a lot more stuff going on, which makes the consoles a little bit worse. So for this, probably the biggest problem with the PS5 is getting a hold of one in the first place. This is why you should probably be subscribed here. I'm trying my best to help you guys all on out. The console has been infamously tricky to bag, thanks to supply constraints, its overwhelming popularity. But gamers who have been lucky enough to snag a PlayStation 5 are noticing a curious issue. And that's kind of what we want to bring up over here. It might sound like a swanky bottle of booze, but coil whine, or electromagnetically induced acoustic noise, is in fact an unwelcome sound that can actually emit from electrical hardware. And thanks to all the graphically intensive games like Horizon, like we mentioned, or other games like Elden Ring and even a little bit of Gran Turismo, a lot of folks out here keep on getting these issues. We've been seeing this popping up a lot more when it comes to stuff. So a good example tweet over here is from this one from Zampata, which is basically saying over here, stating, this is kind of just been going on for the past few weeks, is why I'm bringing attention to it. Anyone else getting an audible buzz coil from their PS5, specifically on the inventory and quest tabs in their menu, but weirdly not as pronounced on the other three. It's obnoxious, and then obviously tagging them Gorilla and mentioning Horizon Forbidden West. So for this, as the name suggests, coil whine is caused by vibrating coils as power passes through the PS5's GPU, resulting in an audible buzzing sound. And we've had this happen a lot. This actually, I think, kind of been an issue ever since the very start of the PS5's kind of came out. But as I mentioned, with a lot more intensive games, and I'm a little bit more worried too in case we do something like God of War or a very, very intensive game out there, might lead to even more issues with it. But Horizon as an open world game is constantly loading stuff and constantly has there could even be mobs that are walking away, doing animations, and basically taking a toll on its GPU when you don't even see it, and you're not even near it. Not just based in terms of like just the game itself, or water effects especially. Stuff like that adds a lot more details to the game itself. So basically, this is passing through the GPU and makes an audible buzzing sound. And then Reddit itself has also had a bunch of folks kind of bringing that up, with a lot of people just being upset and kind of complaining about it and just being like they just don't want to hear this, which I would agree. And the one kind of big thing I'd want to mention is that people have been saying this, and I've actually had other folks too as well in the community mention this too, where they basically contacted PlayStation support about repairing their PlayStation 5 for the loud coil whining sounds, and it was basically told that's just how the system is under stress, and there's nothing they can do. One user complains while another adds. I've had 2 PS5 so far, and both have, in my opinion, crazy amounts of coil whine. So I think they even have a video over here too, which I kind of want to go and maybe show you guys if I can have like a slightly better, maybe if I go to the actual Reddit thread itself, right here, where this has been going on for a while. Like, we've been hearing people saying this all the time. So let me see if I can. It might be kind of hard for you guys to go here in the first place. Maybe more at that very, 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 very tail end. If I were to go bump up the audio for you guys a little bit more. Like right now, it kind of just sounds like you're just like, oh, okay, whatever. Let me try it maybe on just max volume up here. It's so hard to do this on video. Right there. That's actually maybe the better example at the very tail. I know it's kind of hard to go and show. If you guys know, you guys know. I think the very last 4 seconds a better example. The person holding the phone's kind of far away, but that very last in the background, like, so imagine if you can easily pick it up on your phone. It's definitely annoying, even if it's just casually up in the background. It's kind of like if I had an entire video and it was just like a you'd probably go pick up on that after a little bit of time's going on over there. But we've had a lot of folks kind of go and bring this on up. And kind of my, I guess, big critique, or why I'm kind of talking about it on it, is I kind of wish that we could actually have Sony themselves go and actually address this as a proper fix. I myself have not had that many issues with my PS5, even for playing Horizon, like, the very games that people are complaining about. And it kind of stinks because the noise is all over the place. And as I mentioned, as these games keep on getting bigger and bigger and bigger and more intensive, these are going to be having issues all the way. We even had like a Metro writer claim that coil whine was behind their decision to sell the console, or they just didn't want their console because it was literally just so annoying. Like, you want to be able to go and enjoy the silentness of it and all that stuff. Like, a good example is my PC. If it's running a really intensive game, you might hear like more extra heat and things going louder, but right now as I'm just casually using it, we don't hear anything at all going on. It's basically saying the noise is constant through Elden Ring, even though I wouldn't say it's necessarily the most graphically intensive game I've seen. I'd actually probably disagree on that one. There's actually a lot of animations, a lot of special effects, a lot of other various characters. It's not always necessarily about the graphics, more so about everything that's being loaded at the same time. So think open world games. It could even be like half as good as graphics, but if there's a lot more trees, a lot more assets, a lot more characters, a lot more animations going on, it's going to be a little more intensive. Also depending on how long the draw distance is and all like your FOV is. So just saying. I also go and say the second I turn on Horizon Forbidden West, it's like a hornet's nest is in there. The article reads, it's very distracting, and of course now I'm looking for it. I hear it when it's not even that loud. But at least for me, like, I'm usually a headphones guy, so even if I have a little bit of like a coil whine and a little bit of an extra loud sound, usually with my headphones on, playing the game, I don't usually hear it. Or like, I know a lot of you folks maybe have your console, maybe at like your media station, like right below your TV, and you're kind of sitting on the couch. You probably would never have to worry about this issue at all. The part 3 of this, though, is just that I'm more worried if it's an actual proper internal issue, because Sony has yet to kind of respond about it and talk about it, and I kind of feel like this could be an issue where maybe your console is maybe slightly not soldered right, or maybe it's not fully set right, like a lot of those little small issues mixed on in. And I would want Sony to be able to go and fix this, because if it's kind of various, that means that someone could have an extremely loud console, which could be a scary issue for maybe the longevity of your console, especially if it's under warranty right now. And then the part 2 of that is maybe someone doesn't have it or doesn't really affected by it, like how I am, so maybe my console's fine. But that doesn't mean that I don't want other people out there who have their consoles maybe slowly breaking to be able to go get it for free. I want them to be able to get the money they go get in the first place, because that's how it should be. I don't want someone to have to go and waste an extra $500 on a already hard to find console. And this is also, I think a lot of people are kind of a little bit more on the scared side too, because the powerful consoles aren't supposed to be completely silent. I totally get that myself. But with a lot more people bring this on up in my own community, especially as well for Elden Ring and other Horizon games, I'm kind of surprised to go and see, because hardware issues do happen. Even as the article states, a lot of the times, like say like the Red Ring of Death when it comes to the Xbox, literally broke your entire console. So I'm a little bit worried about this because Sony still has not fully addressed it. This has actually been going on since kind of pretty much the start of the console itself, and I would like to go and see Sony maybe address it, take a proper stance on this, because I want them to be able to go fix their consoles if they're broken. So have you guys had this issue, especially with these brand new games coming out? Have you guys had any issues with it? Have you guys fixed it? Have you guys had to get a new console? Let me know in the comment section down below. And as well, if it does happen, as of right now, it's not like console breaking, but it could also be something we have to worry about maybe in 6 months, a year from now, etc., etc. So give me your thoughts and comments down below. As well, make sure you guys are subscribed with the notifications on, as well for the brand new PlayStation 5 giveaway. Amazon links down below for the PS5 Digital Console Controller. Twitter and Twitch stream as well, linked down below. The Amazon links, the Twitter giveaway down below, that Webull and Coinbase too as well. And I appreciate you guys so much for watching. We'll give you guys more videos all throughout these next, this whole weekend. Love you guys.